Hey guys, so I wanted to clear up some things. My last video I had done regarding Miss Kenneka Jenkins, I was in my feelings a little bit because it was so relevant to my own daughter's murder. And in those feelings, I believe I got a couple of messages. People were uncomfortable with what I had said regarding the young girls, the friends that was there. So I'm not going to backpedal at all or retract. I am going to take the negative out of it and apologize to whoever was offended, because we have thus found out that Kenneka had not been violated. So that's a great thing. I still stand on the responsibility of the friends, though, and hanging out. I still believe that, you know, we have got to start teaching our kids, and believe it or not, even some of us younger women, that we put too much responsibility, you know, on someone else who's unable to carry that title of friendship. And so that is a segue into what I wanted to talk about as well, because when we're in darkness, right, or when we're not feeling well, different medicines work for different people, right? Sometimes you can take a Tylenol and it'll take your pain away, but somebody else might need something stronger. They might need, you know, an Oxy, you know, they might need some of that good hard stuff that knock you out where you can't think, right? But who's to say that the road we choose to travel to our stuff that feels good is no good? So I say that to say, how can you, in any title that you give your spiritual father, God, Allah, Buddha, I don't care what title you are, how can you be in the energy of God and work in hate? They don't go together. They don't go together. So you can't be so righteously in your position and think that somebody else's position is wrong. There's many avenues, there's many roads to a final destination, and we all agree that there is a destination. Our spirits have to end up somewhere, come from somewhere, so it has to go back somewhere, right? We can't be in God's space and create nasty, hateful energy. They two don't go together. They don't work. Hey, kid, I see you. Thank you so much. What do you guys think about that? You know what I mean? And I don't want to beat up anybody. I don't want this video to have any negative attachment. I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. If my message doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. Somebody's message is. Somebody's message you will hear. If it's not mine, I'm fine. My followers, the people who my tribe, and I don't want to say followers, because even at that we vibe on that same level, we just love you. We don't care about any of those other attachments that come on. We just love you for who you are. And I believe, logic according to Freedom Way, that's what God is. God is love, right? So if we want to even get biblical, 1 John 4:7-8. Yes, she knows her Bible too. She used to be there too. Don't get it twisted. I've done my studies. It says, beloved, love is of God, and anyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. And he also says, he that loveth not knoweth not God, because God is love. So if you're love and you're in God's space and you're love, how can you do that with a hateful heart? How could you say that you're in this midst of love and in a hateful space? That's a question. So I want to give you guys a little bit of my story that has gone with it. Some of you guys have known it. Freedom of you. Love anyhow, right now, right? And choosing to do it on purpose. Alchemy, M-E, right? Taking something ordinary and making it extraordinary. That's who I am. Let me tell you how I got there. When my daughter was broken and I was in that very dark place, right? I needed to heal. And they wanted to give me prescription medicines. And I didn't want the prescription medicines because I was already not feeling anything. I was already numb to life. I was already numb to everything else. So now I want pills that's going to make me more numb. I'm trying to figure out. At this time, any emotion, anything feels better than not feeling anything at all. Right? So I had to do the work. And in the midst of me doing the work, I left my husband. Let's put this out here. I ran away. I left him with the kids. I left him with the house. I left him with the cars. If it didn't fit in 2 suitcases, I didn't want it. And plenty people know my story. This is true. I got on the freeway. I had no idea where I was going. I just was leaving Phoenix, Arizona because it didn't feel good. My car broke down in Texas. I had been putting the zip codes on Facebook so that my friends and family knew where I was, because those who were close to me know that I needed to take this journey. I had no idea where I was going. I knew I was running from something, but I didn't know what I was running to. Car breakdown in Texas. A girlfriend of mine sees the zip code and she messaged me and asked me, "Are you here?" Yes, I am. She tells me that her uncle just passed and her aunt's in this zip code. Would I be willing to talk to them about grief? Because that's what Freedom of You is. Tools are feeling better right now, even when the world wants to make think it's jacked up, right? How can I feel good in the jacked up? The kiwi bird, the bird that sits still in the storm. How can I be that, right? That's the tools. So I told her, absolutely. Give her my phone number. My heart just broke down. I got some things going on. As soon as I get set, I'm more than happy to speak with your aunt. 5 minutes later, the aunt calls me. Introduces herself, tells me who she is. I tell her that I'm in the middle of getting my car. And let me back up right there. So my car breaks down in Texas, right? Transmission. I search, call insurance first, see if I have any towing, because I try to spend the least amount of money possible. And I have 15 miles of free towing, real life. I got off the phone and I Googled closest AMCO, because that's transmissions, right? So AMCO, from where my car broke down, was 13 miles away. I had 15 miles free miles, but AMCO was 13 miles away. Boom. God, right? So we towed the car to AMCO. This is when the aunt calls me, the friend calls. This is when it all happens. I tell her, let me finish my car and I'll get back in touch with you. She said, well, where are you, baby? I said, I'm at the AMCO here on the road. She said, well, that's right down the street. Won't I come get you and help you? Okay. That sounds wonderful. Thank you very much. I got to find me a room in the area. I don't know what's going on with my car. I got to stay. She said, I'll be there to get you in a minute. I promise y'all, I wish I had a camera to take this down. I got off the phone with this woman at 1:57. I remember I wrote it down, in the afternoon. Before 2:10, this woman was pulled up at AMCO in this pretty brand new shiny white Fleetwood Cadillac. It had red interior and it had wood grain, everything, right? Same car I just left in Phoenix with my husband, and I thought I was giving away stuff. She picked me up in something newer, better. Brings me to her house, allows me to stay in her home, ensuite, have my own bathroom, everything I would get at a hotel and spend. She opens her home to me and lets me stay there, and gives me the keys to her husband's brand new car that I could drive in Texas so I could figure out what was going on with my own car. Every morning, I seen this beautiful black woman. Can I put you in mind of Cicely Tyson? Every morning I see her get up and spend time in this one little space with God. She had her altar set up. She had her pictures of her husband and her son. This was 2012. Her son, her oldest son, was just murdered in the war at this time. This is why I'm here. This is why her girlfriend called me, so I could deal with her with grief. She had already previously lost her son, her husband, and she only had her 2 boys, and then she lost her oldest son this year. This is why I'm in this woman's house. Every morning she met God at this same place. She's up, she had her coffee, she smelled good, she's beautiful, and she's meeting God in this place every morning and every night. One particular morning, I go in, I get ready to make me some coffee because she's got it hot and got this beautiful little space where you can come and choose any kind of coffee you want. Any kind you want, flavor you want, hazelnut, Irish cream. She got all of it set up, just beautiful for you, hot coffee. I get my coffee, and I must have missed her at her altar today because she was already in her son's room, cleaning it, doing laundry, making his bed. And I say to Miss Vet, after being in her house, this is my 4th day at this point, I say, Miss Vet, this is the problem that us young mothers are having. We want husbands, and our husbands aren't looking for wives. They're looking for mothers. She stopped everything she was doing. Hey, baby, how was school? Good. Good, I'm glad. She stopped everything she was doing, and she looked me dead in my face. And she said, I brought you into my home. I fed you. I treat you like family. And you stand here and you disrespect me in my home. And I was confused. Because my question wasn't for disrespect. We had already spent quality time building this relationship. And I had shared with her about my relationship with my husband and where my problem, I thought my problem was at the time was coming in. I said, no, Miss Vet, I don't mean to disrespect at all. I just, share my problem, and it's just my observation. She said, I was married young. I had nobody but my husband and my 2 boys. I had no siblings, and I lost both my parents. My whole life was to build my family with my husband and to give my kids. All I ever had was love. What you young mothers' problem is, y'all so busy trying to buy your kids love and buy your kids relationship, buying stuff you can't afford, spending money on stuff you can't afford, giving your kids the false lies of what love is. That's not what love is. My son lost his father. My son lost his brother, his best friend, and he goes to work every day. How am I hurting him by making his life at home easier? By giving him refuge, by giving him one step up against the world. How would that be hurting him? I said, I understand, Miss Vet. I didn't mean to disrespect. That makes sense to me. She said, well, let me ask you something, little Miss Freedom of You. Yes, ma'am. You freedom of you. You said that you are love. Boy, that cut deep. That was those stars that you didn't want to talk about. When you go all the way deep down in the source of the core of who we are, our characteristics, what built us, what planted us, what framed us, all the way down to the core. Because let me tell you guys something. There was relationships that had not been healed. I'm out here talking about healing, and I had broken relationships. And you think that you just fix the ones close to you because they're comfortable and they're easy. But we have histories that needs to be dealt with. And the very first thing that I want to tell all my women out there, because see, you got to know your audience. You got to know who your words are for. You got to know who this message is for. This is not me. God gave me this story so that I could share with you because it's truth. The one thing that I have to tell my women out here is remove your preconceived notions of who your mother told you your father was. Period. If your mother and father were not married in the home and you came in through your flesh and bone and you didn't have a relationship with your father, do not hold him accountable. Figure out the truth. Don't go on your mom's last word. Because for my whole entire life, I had a relationship with my real father that was based on my mother's relationship, not mine. I didn't get a chance to build my own relationship. Now, I don't hold nothing against her because God gave me an angel when I was 7 years old. My stepfather, y'all hear me talk about him all the time. Ronald Holly. God gave me a daddy. I had a daddy. But that relationship had not been dealt with. And all those emotions was back in who I was as a woman, what I was as a wife, as a mother, because a daughter's relationship with her father is important. It's important. And I felt for a long time that I was gypped out of mine because of somebody else's experience. Now, to go into this, to remove it from her, a baby sister's on the phone with me this whole ride. Somebody got to take the ride with us. We never want to go anywhere by ourselves. And that's why we have to be careful about who we bring with us. A different level, a different devil, a different person going to be there for you. Not everybody's going to make it to the finish line. And we're okay with that. I am anyway. So my baby sister's on the phone. And my father's there with her. My real father. And I'm expressing to her what Miss Vet just dealt up. What she just pulled up. What my dirt was being cultivated at this time. I'm sharing with my sister. And she said, Daddy want to talk to you. What do you want to talk to me for? We ain't never really had no relationship. I go on and on about different situations because I'm not. He passed away, rest in peace, and I was able to heal my relationship with him before that happened. I praise God for that. But at this time, he gets on the phone and I call him by his first name. Hey, Paul. He said, I'm your daddy. Don't call me Paul. Hi, Dad. How are you? I'm fine. I love you. I love you too. I want to see you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go East Coast for my mother's birthday. She's 95 this year. I'm going to go see my mother, and when I come back, I want me and you to spend some time together. Y'all know Miss Vet had just cut me about this love situation right before this, so I'm open, right? Wound wide open, right? Emotional. I could feel it all the way down and I couldn't even talk. My teeth was chattering. Have you guys ever been in this high energy of sadness and anger at the same time that you're confused? You don't know if you want to stand up and scream or if you want to lay down and grab the pillow and scream everything into the pillow. You just know that it doesn't feel right and you're not familiar with it because we hide it. We run from it. Right? We don't want to deal with it. So we drink or we smoke weed or maybe whatever our darkness is that attached us, because everybody got a story. Every addiction has a story attached to it. You guys know that. I'm sure you don't know that. I'm not the only one who have people in her family was addicted or maybe even had an addiction themselves. My daddy told me, my sister, y'all know her, tag her if you know, Teeter. She gets on the phone and said, we're going to call you back. When my sister called me back, my sister said, can't get to the airport. Daddy said, come on. Yep, I can. Now, you guys know Miss Vet felt I was being disrespectful to her. This is about 2 hours later in the day. And I asked her if she mind taking me to the airport. She said she absolutely didn't mind. She was glad that I was able to heal. Remember, I was coming there to heal her. Y'all remember that, right? And in turn, she healed me. Helped me start to heal. I fly to Seattle, Washington in January, right? 2012. January 24th, my grandmother was going to turn 95 years old. Her and my sister got the same birthday. I fly into Seattle. If you don't believe me, pull up Google right now and Google what I'm about to tell you. The 13th, wait, what was that? It's January 21st, 22nd. It was the largest snow that Seattle had in many years. It was a lot of snow. City was shut down. And my sister lives down in the valley part. So if you want to go anywhere, you got to go up some hills. You ain't getting up these hills. You ain't getting up out of the Tukwila. You ain't getting up out of here for this snow. Y'all do your research. Figure out. It was the largest snow Seattle had in a long time. My sister drives a truck. So she's out. Anybody who know T, she's out. She's out of here. Because she didn't know what she was doing. I didn't know what she was doing. But Spirit knew what it was doing. Nobody can come in this house. And nobody can leave this house. It's just me and you. One-on-one. You gotta answer all my questions. And I gotta hear all your hurt. Ain't no escaping. Both of us. Face to face. Everything I asked him, he was open to answer. We cried. We yelled. We cursed at each other. We were angry with each other. We stopped, laughed a little bit, found out that we had the same taste in music. I wrote jazz, never knew my father, never knew him at all, but our playlists are the same. We figure out some similarities, although I wasn't raised with him. Our coffee, we like it the same. We both had 2 or 3 cups of coffee in the morning. I always thought that was a real twerk about me, that I have a cup of coffee, then I get cold, then I heat it up, and I put more coffee in it, and I heat it up. Like, I always thought that was a funny twerk of mine. But my father, my real father, my blood father, had the same way. All right, baby, I'll be in a second. I love you. I'm glad you had a good day at school. Make sure you do your homework, okay?
Yeah, that's all.
All right, check with your nanny, see if she needs anything done as well. All right, so now I'm in Seattle. It's snowing. Me and my daddy one-on-one. I got to get through it. He says he's going to Ohio for his mother's 95th birthday. I want to go to Ohio too. So me and my sister find my ticket. I booked my ticket so I can go to Ohio for my granny's 95th birthday. Y'all hear me talk about her all the time, Annie Pack. Right. So now, my flight leave at 7 in the morning. My daddy flight don't leave till 1. True story, y'all. Okay. I get the SeaTac. My sister drops me off to get on the plane. I call her back like, sister, they canceling flights. I might not be able to get up out of here. You might got to come back and get me. She said, well, I'm right down the hill. You call and let me know if your flight get canceled. On the board. Cancel, 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 cancel. Flights are getting canceled left and right, y'all. Left and right flights are getting canceled. Please hear me, okay? My flight was the only flight that left Seattle, Washington that day to Chicago O'Hare. My father could not fly out at his 1 o'clock flight. They canceled it. My flight was the only flight that left Seattle, y'all. Okay? Now, let me stop. Because this story, I want to make sure that you guys get the intensity of this healing on why I am who I am right now. On how come I could tell you this love anyhow right now, choosing to do it on purpose, using your alchemy, M-E, not M-Y, to taking something ordinary and making it extraordinary. You guys have got to hear this when I tell you this, on how God was in every step of the way. My daddy couldn't go. That means I was going to be in D.C. for a whole 24 hours with my father's family, strangers to me. But my father's family, who knew him from a child up, who knew him. No longer only my mother's stories. See? No longer only my mother's side of being a hurt wife. That now God has allowed me to see and adhere to, because then I was a hurt wife. And when I was a hurt wife, we easily blame our spouses for everything. He did this, he did this, he didn't do this, he didn't do this. But we never take vision of who we are and what role we play in the relationship. Okay? I get stuck in Chicago O'Hare's airport. I go get me some chicken and a beer. It's January. Chicago's cold. I barely had a warm enough coat from Seattle. And now y'all want me to deal with Chicago? They canceling flights. I'm on the phone again with my baby sister. Sister, I can't go outside of Chicago. It's cold out here. I need this flight to happen. Now I'm in the back of the restaurant minding my own business. Little itty bitty black lady. Angels. Angels. Hear me on the phone with my sister, and she comes over and introduces herself. And we eat chicken. She got hers, I got mine. I drink my beer, she drink her water. And I tell her my story. Because, hurt people, we on this thing. I'm getting ready to go to get some healing, so I'm excited. I'm telling everybody about what God's doing for me. I'm telling everybody how he's healing relationships, and I'm so excited. I'm a little girl right now getting ready to go meet her bloodline for the very first time. I need to know where these thick ankles come from. I need to know where these thick thighs come from. I need to know why I'm different than a whole lot of everybody else. I need to figure out who freedom is, because I'm building freedom. I'm erasing everything I've been taught about freedom, and I'm going in and I'm getting to know myself intimately. Into me, you see. I'm in there, spending time with myself. So I talked to this lady. She hugs me. She told me, I know you're going to have a wonderful journey. I can't wait for you to meet your grandmother. I said, me too. Thank you so much for your time and listening. Get back to my gate. They canceling flights. Chicago, they watering down airplanes, trying to get them down. Canceling flights, canceling flights, canceling flights. The lady contact me on my shoulder. Remember my name, Freedom. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hey. She said, did you want to get to your grandmother tonight? Or are you okay with waiting for tomorrow? I said, I want to get tonight. She said, get your bag and follow me. We go 2 windows down. She gets on the computer, print me out a boarding pass, and told me, bless Queen, on your way. Go love on your grandmother. I look at the ticket, it's first class. I didn't pay for baggage. I didn't pay for no upgrade. I didn't pay for anything. I just was over here in my energy and my story knowing that it has to happen. And this woman came to me, sat and talked to me. I shared my story freely. Because, see, we got to get rid of that shame thinking that we better. People hurt like you hurt. People need an antidote for what they going through, and you may have it. For being stingy with what God gives you. Give it away. She put me on a first-class flight to D.C. She was the head of Chicago O'Hare Airport. Whew, y'all don't even know. So now I'm in first class. You know, now my head getting super big. Now my hands is getting super sweaty because I'm getting close. But I'm also seeing and realizing just how great this God is that I once was angry at. Y'all didn't hear that. How great, how bigger, how vast, how open this God is that I was once mad at because everybody put him in this little tiny box of titles, tags, and columns, stereotypes, ugliness. God is not in there. He's out here. He's in here. He's in me. He's in you. He's all around. He's a frequency of love. If you love, you know God. If you don't love, you don't know him. No pun intended. So now I'm in D.C. with my father's family, who he grew up with, first cousins, who love him, who know him. He's not there to distract the story because remember I told you guys he couldn't fly out till the next day. So I got a whole 24 hours in my family's home who are strangers to me, but they're blood. And they welcome me into their home. And they love on me and feed me. Everybody so excited about meeting Paul's children because my daddy left and none of his babies ever met his family. Y'all better get these generational curses that I'm telling you about right now. Connect to this. Feel me on these. These are generational curses. Our kids need to know where we come from. They need to understand our struggle. They need to understand what we did not to struggle. They need to understand what our ancestors struggled on. They need to understand who they are. We can't lie and keep it a secret. We have to tell them the truth. And if you're a hurt mother, hear me. Pause in the story. If you're a hurt mother and the child's father hurt you in any way, you need to forgive him and let that baby have a relationship with that father so that that baby can know who they are and they don't grow up and be a 40-year-old woman like me who was raised in a loving home but had no idea who her real father is and what kind of man he was for real. Now, let me say this. P was a piece of work. Anybody who knew my father knew he was a piece of work. Okay? But the good side of him, that spirit side of him, his character of who he was, I now got to witness it from his direct one-on-one family he grew up with his whole life. They love him. Everybody's excited for Paul to come in town. Everybody want to see their Uncle Pete. Everybody can't wait till he get here because he's fun. I'm fun. That's a commonality, right? He's real. I'm real. We common there too, right? He might hurt your feelings, and sometimes I do the same thing, right? But there's a lesson in it every time. There's a lesson in it every single time he cut you. He's going to love you with the lesson. Okay. I know I get wild out. What time I love right now? God space. Being in this space. So I showed you guys how he walked me through from Miss Vet with my car breaking down to her loving on me. And then me thinking I'm supposed to be there but really she's there to help me heal. And then I fly to Seattle. And then the storm comes. And nobody can come in and nobody can come out. It's just me and my daddy one-on-one pounding it out. Right? And then now I get to go where he is. So we book my flight. My flight's the only flight that leaves Seattle. His don't leave till the next day. I get to Chicago, the storm comes. My flight. Freedom. Little old me. I'm moving mountains like this that only the plane that I am on is flying up out of here. That has nothing to do with me. That's God and my purpose. I needed to go understand this. I needed to go feel this. God has something for me at the end of the road that I thought was the end. I ran away. Do you guys get that? I didn't know where I was running from to. I knew what I was running from, but I had no idea where I was going. I was confused, and many of us know confusion is not of God. He is very clear. He is very clear. You know exactly when it's him. So when you're confused and you're in this energy, don't make no choice, because that's you. That's not God. I learned that lesson. You don't make the decision, you don't make this choice until you're clear. Because then when you know you're clear, you know God's all up and in here. Because he's clarity. And now I get to meet my granny, Annie Pack. You guys heard her. I tell her about her all the time. See, I had Angel Annie in the end of my life. And I had Ruth's Truths in the beginning of my life. Y'all gonna read that in the book. Ruth's Truths. Ruth was my mother's mother. So I can't discount what she put into my foundation growing up. She had everything to do with the woman I am today. Annie polished it off. Because I didn't get her till she was 95. But I got that little bit of time with her. And I spent one-on-one with her and my auntie, who I love to death. I had access to these type of women in my life, my whole family, and I felt at that time, I felt cheated. I felt like somebody else got something better than me. Because although I was a part of my stepfather's family, and this is no disrespect to them at all, let's keep it 100, but they honor family in a different way. You know, it's blood. My daddy never made me feel any different. But you want to deal with you. You want your auntie to know who you are, remember your birthdays, you know, stuff like that. So I felt cheated by that. But I got this one-on-one time, this love anyhow right now. And so in the midst of spending time with my granny and going to regurgitate all the negative in my life, my grandmother would refill me with just little cliches that start to build up. You better quit taking them wooden nickels. How many of y'all know about them wooden nickels? How many of y'all had wooden nickels? How many of y'all guilty of taking wooden nickels, being made the fool of? So my granny say, you make a fool of me the first time, but it won't be no second time. I'm not going to keep taking no wooden nickels. So I had to deal with the wooden nickel syndrome. Y'all hear about it in the book. Make sure you guys read the book when it come out. Invite your friends, guys. Let them hear this, because this is love anyhow. I have to let you guys know the darkness of my story so that you could guys understand why I choose to be in this light love. I choose, and why we all need to understand that we cannot put God in a box and expect him to move our moves. He doesn't follow our directions. He has his own path for you that you agreed to when you came here. Your spirit is responsible to tell your story. Other women and men are going to be blessed by your story if you're open to tell the truth. I was broken. I was bruised. You understand me? And I need to heal. Inside out healing. So I don't tell this story to be sad. I don't tell this story. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. I want you guys to go ahead and get in the glory of my story with me. There's glory in my story. I promise you that. And so I had to heal that relationship with my father first, and I was able to. And it was a beautiful thing because he passed away shortly after that. And if he would have left this earth before I had a chance to heal, you guys may not be looking at me right now. You guys may not be experiencing love now anyhow, right now. Because I don't know what I would have done. I'm not even going to speak into it. But, so what did you guys think? Like, you guys heard the story. Like, here it is. Love now anyhow. When we remove our own decisions, when we start allowing God to move in our place and us just follow. When we allow God to do what he's going to do in our life, it's easier and it's better and it's edifying for more than ourselves. That's where the service, the commitment of service comes in. I've always been a server. I've always been one of them for service. But I had always felt that, I wasn't getting those things duplicated back to me, given back to me. And the time that I was able to spend with my grandmother allowed me to know that sometimes you're not doing it for you at all, right? You're doing it for the women who come before you, who's now made it available for you to be here. They knew they wouldn't be able to tell the story, but our ancestors left it for us so that we will be able to tell the story and that we would do it. If I hadn't had this experience, I would not have gotten to understand what loving anyhow, right now, and choosing to do it on purpose would about. I've ruined some very strong relationships based on that, not knowing how that goes. Right? You lose. Hurt people. Period, point blank. And until you can heal, right, you're going to continue to hurt relationships that are worthy, relationships that God ordained for you to be in. And we need to take hold to that. So again, God space. I'm not thinking I'm holier than that. I'm human just like you guys. I mess up just like you guys. My only superpower that I have is when I mess up, I don't beat myself up about it anymore. When I mess up now, I go ahead and get back up. You understand me? I go ahead and get back up. I go ahead and let God do what He's going to do.